the Human Resources career path. Today we're going to discuss all positions and job titles available within the HR department. This is also called the Human Resources career path, as we just mentioned. If you want to know about these different positions, continue with me. Hi, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of HR University, and I have over 6 years of HR experience. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of all the great HR instructional videos that we come out with from real HR experts. The Human Resources career path is easy to be a part of and even to get ahead in. It isn't something that requires a lifelong commitment to jumping into the field and growing your career. As a matter of fact, you can make the switch to human resources from other departments within an organization. That happens mostly in small to medium-sized organizations. For large organizations, sometimes they prefer to hire new personnel for this position. If you're convinced that this is an area you want to get in, it requires some kind of HR certification to help you land the right job. We at HR University can also help you launch into this field successfully through one of our certifications. Here's an example situation someone may be in. John switched roles within the same company. While John was talking to his colleague in the HR department, he wasn't too happy about his current job description as a marketing assistant. With John's bachelor in business administration, his colleague suggested that he can make the lateral move into his department, and the company allows such transitions too. It made him happy and excited to be part of something that was more about connecting with other people and suited him as a non-technical person. He went on to accept his role as an HR assistant the next day. Once you're in, it's quite natural to wonder what goes on inside an HR department. Besides the management of human resources, what are some tangible things to do as an HR professional? You have labor relations, employment law, talent acquisition, and employee benefits, development programs, company culture and human capital deployment, performance management, and so on. These skills, functions, or day-to-day operations can be enhanced through education, training, and experience. In this slide, you can see some of the HR activities you'll be performing on your HR career path. Most of them are self-explanatory, but if you don't understand any of them, then make sure to go ahead and please leave any questions below the video in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer them. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these activities one by one. There are manpower planning, recruitment and onboarding, policy setting and adherence, employee information management, leave and attendance policy transaction management, payroll processing and salary disbursement, exit process management, statutory compliance and reporting. And then we also have employee services and engagement, training and development, performance appraisal, and finally succession planning. You can also refer to them as HR responsibilities. Yes, that's right. The requirements to enter into the field of human resources are quite flexible, and there's a number of them depending on the company and industry you're working in. You can enter into this field even with a bachelor's in business administration. To have a bachelor specifically in HR isn't a requirement. On the other hand, a master's degree in HR will help you reach higher level positions within the department, such as the position of an HR director, vice president, or chief HR officer. Here we have an image showing all the HR metrics. HR metrics are something you'll have to be on top of in your overall HR career path. These are measurements used to determine the effectiveness and efficiency of HR policies. Here are some of the key HR metrics outlining your performance. 1, we have staffing. You can analyze staffing via the number of positions filled, time to fill, and cost per hire. And 2, training deals with hours of training per employee, total cost of training, and percentage of employee participation in the tuition reimbursement program, for example. And 3, we have development. You can evaluate this metric via positions filled internally and the percentage of employees with a career plan. Number 4, HR staff and expensive. Calculate this metric via HR to employee ratio, total HR staff and HR expensive per full-time employee. That brings us to the 5th metric, compensation. You can calculate it through annual wage and salary increases, payroll as a percentage of operating expenses, and benefit costs as a percentage of payroll. The 6th and last metric is retention and quality. It is the average tenure of employees, percentage of new hires retained for 90 days, and performance quality of employees in the first year. Feel free to pause the video and take a minute to go through those metrics. I bring you 2 important stats here, which are actually positive news. For people in the HR industry, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of HR specialists is estimated to grow by 7% by 2029. Similarly, the number of human resources managers is expected to increase by 6% from 2019 to 2029. It's a growing field, and by 2029, we're going to see a considerable increase in both human resources managers and HR generalists. A generalist is a term we often use to refer to HR people doing their usual duties such as hiring, handling, employee benefits, and so on. For additional reading, I've included 2 informational resources in the text section below the video. They can enlighten you on the future prospects for HR professionals. One is where you can read about the increase in HR specialists by 2029, and the other is about the expected increase in HR managers within the same period. So you have 2 great reads there that talk about the future and how it's bright for HR professionals. And there are many positions in an HR department that you can fill. Let's go through them and get acquainted. We have the Human Resources Assistant, and we have 2, the Recruiter, 3, Payroll Specialists, 4, HR Generalist, and then we have the Human Resources Manager, and 6, we have Compensation or Benefit Analysis or Manager, and 7, we have the Human Resources Information Systems Analyst or Manager, so the HRIS Analyst Manager, and we have Training and Development Manager, Employee Welfare Manager, and much more. There are more positions too, in addition to the ones I just mentioned, such as HR Director, VP of HR, and Chief HR Officer, which is the highest position in an HR department. And there we have it, the complete list of career options available within the HR department. This is a hierarchical representation of the human resources career path. Feel free to pause the video and take a moment to look at those job titles from the entry-level positions all the way up to the topmost position of a CHRO. In between, you can see titles like contributors, managers, director, and vice president. Let's get on with a one-on-one description of each role. The HR assistant is where you start your HR career. It is an entry-level position or the first step on your HR career ladder. An HR assistant helps facilitate various HR functions such as completing administrative paperwork for new hires, handling benefits plans, termination, and other delegated tasks. HR assistants are also responsible for solving common workplace issues regarding absences, wages, overtime, and other such problems. Furthermore, they may also be tasked with sending memos, reminders, organizing company events, and employment verification, and much more. The minimum requirement to become an HR assistant is a bachelor's degree, not necessarily in the field of HR. When it comes to their salary, their average salary is about $39,000 to $47,000 a year, with slightly strict educational requirements for the latter. The second job title in the HR career path is an HR coordinator. People in this position are responsible for the recruitment side of things. Their job is to assist the HR department with recruitment, payroll processing, and also employee records, and to provide administrative support. HR coordinators are expected to hunt for talent, arrange interviews, check applicant references, maintain records, and conduct onboarding sessions. SMEs usually delegate HR assistant duties or HR specialist duties to HR coordinators. Their average salary is $49,000, but that number can go up all the way to $60,000 per year. When you get to the HR specialist position, you're officially specializing in HR. This is where you start to focus on one specific HR function. For example, you can become an HR clerk, a payroll specialist, training and development specialist or manager. You can also become an employee relations manager. Usually at this point, you're expected to at least have a bachelor's degree and 3 years of experience in the HR field. The average HR specialist salary is around $51,000. Larger companies promote HR specialists to senior HR specialists before they reach the HR generalist position. Senior HR specialists can earn up to $65,000 per year. An HR generalist is usually a training role in becoming an HR manager. Companies usually hire people as HR generalists and later promote them to HR managers, rather than hiring a manager directly. They're responsible for practically everything in regards to helping with hiring, training, benefits, payroll, compliance, and a range of other things. The requirements of becoming one are similar to that of an HR specialist. However, the average salary of an HR generalist is $53,000, and if promoted to senior HR generalist, that number can go all the way up to $68,000. We've come to the fifth role in an HR department. That is the role of an HR manager. An HR manager is responsible for overlooking procedures, policies, and compliance-related issues. They have to ensure that all activities are compliant with local, state, and federal laws, and that every aspect of HR, including parental leaves, vacation leaves, flexible work programs, and insurance programs, among others, abide by the guidelines. The HR manager also partakes in business planning and budget development and is responsible for HR programs throughout an organization. Overall, if you have good leadership and problem-solving skills, the role is for you. A bachelor's degree is mandatory for the role and 5 years of experience is expected. The average HR manager salary is $76,000 and up to $90,000 for senior HR managers. A day in the life of an HR manager includes the following real-life examples. On one day, you might be recruiting or staffing, developing policy, providing employee services, or consulting. Now, on another, you could be welcoming new employees on board to the team. Since now we are talking about the higher level positions within the HR department, we're going to focus on the role of an HR director. The HR director position can play a number of roles, which may include heading up several departments or just managing the HR managers. They are expected to act as a strategic partner to all employees in a company. And they may also have to deal with day-to-day problems and complaints regarding HR processes. This role is similar to the HR manager when a company needs assistance with law compliance. Typically, this position requires a master's degree and more than 10 years of experience. The average HR director salary is around $82,000. It can go up to sometimes $110,000 for senior HR directors. Really depends on the vertical and company you work at, and I've seen this number go even as high as $200,000. Next, we come to another top level position within the HR department. That is a VP or Vice President of HR. The VP position is mostly present in companies with a dedicated executive employee section. For all other companies, the position after the HR director is the CHRO, which we'll go through a little later. Usually their job is mainly administrative. They tend to make the key decisions and are responsible for giving the final go-ahead for any new project, procedure, or process. They may also be called the VP of People Relations or VP of People Operations within larger organizations. The requirement to become a VP includes 10 years of experience with a bachelor's or preferably a master's degree. The average salary of a VP of HR is $126,000 and may go up to $185,000 for senior VPs of HR. We are now down to our last and topmost position within the HR department, the Chief HR Officer. It's purely an administrative role. The CHRO works in tandem with the CEO and other senior and executive staff. They're responsible for supervising all the HR administration for a company and can propose changes to senior management, set goals, and may check whether a company is following certain procedures and regulations. The position usually requires 15 years of experience and a specialized master's degree. The average CHRO salary is around $157,000 per year and can go up to $250,000 in larger organizations. Now let's talk about some of the common frameworks you'll learn on your HR career path. An HR framework or model is a term used to refer to an organization's strategic scheme designed to help administer and coordinate business functions regarding human capital. Here we have the Ability Motivation Opportunity Model, or AMO. It is a valuable framework for understanding how HR processes serve as a foundation for human capital. Human capital is also referred to as intellectual capital to represent the contributions of individuals and institutions in terms of thought, experience, imagination, and decision making. Here's another framework, the competency model. This model was created using feedback from over 12,000 practitioners who took part in focus groups, survey responses from over 32,000 other professionals, and an analysis of different performance outcomes related to the competencies. Among the 9 competencies are human resource expertise applies knowledge of HR functions, relationship management builds networks that support the firm, consultation provides advice and direction, leadership and navigation. This guides the organizations and its employees, and communication that fosters the positive flow of information among different parties. We also have global and cultural effectiveness to understand diverse global issues, ethical practice to build organizational ethical values and compliance, and critical evaluation functions in order to judge information. And last, we have business acumen to provide input that supports business strategy. So there's a lot there at a very high level. And we also have ethics, which plays a huge role in correctly delivering your job as an HR professional. It is one area in your career path in which, if you excel, you can get the opportunity to make a difference and be a champion, since discrimination and racism are very common in workplaces, unfortunately. You often have to deal with these things, including not just discrimination and racism, but also harassment and other employee issues within the company while upholding the law. Here are some of the issues where your services might be needed as an HR professional: employee responsibility, cash and compensation plans, performance appraisals, privacy issues, race and disability, safety and health, employment issues, restructuring and layoffs. And there we have it. We're finished with the human resources career path, in which you saw many positions available within an HR department. Again, I'm your host, Josh from HR University. We'll be taking a break until next time when we see each other on another video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I'll go ahead and answer them. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and like it and subscribe, and that way you can keep up to date with all the different HR informational videos that we release to make sure that you excel in your HR career.